Jai Shri Ram. So I'll start reading Canto 30. What is the canto about? Shri Ram protects the sacrifice of Vishwamitra against the onslaught of the Rakshas and gets rid of them. Now the two princes who knew what is appropriate at a particular time and place and were also aware of the kind of words that should be spoken at a particular time and place and who were capable of subduing the enemy addressed the following words to Vishwamitra, a scion of Kusha. O venerable sage, we both should like to hear at what particular moment of time the two ogres, Marich and Subahu, have to be guarded against by us. That moment should not escape unnoticed. Full of delight, all those hermits who were present there on that occasion applauded the two princes. Descended in the line of Kakushta, who spoke as aforesaid, impatient because of their eagerness to fight with the demons. They replied on behalf of the Rishi, from this day onwards, keep your vigil for 6 days and nights continuously. O scion of Raghu, we tell you this because this sage Vishwamitra has already gone through the rite of consecration and will observe strict silence all these days as he is doing even now. Hearing the aforesaid answer made by the hermits, the two illustrious princes for their part guarded the grove hallowed by austerities for 6 days and nights continuously without even a wink of sleep. Full of vigilance and armed with exquisite bows, the two heroes, capable as they were of subduing the enemy, kept by the side of Vishwamitra, the foremost of sages, and guarded him as well as his sacrifice. Now, as time rolled on, 5 days had elapsed, and the 6th day, night, night, the most important on which the som juice is extracted arrived. Sri Ram said to Lakshman, be prepared for a tussle and be vigilant. Even as Sri Ram, who was impatient because of his eagerness to fight with the Rakshasas, spoke as aforesaid, the fire at the sacrificial altar at once blazed forth in the presence of the Brahma, the superintending priest, viz. Vishwamitra, and the other priests officiating at the sacrifice. The fire at the altar, which was distinguished by the presence of sacred kusha grass and kamasa, a wooden vessel generally of a square shape and furnished with a handle, used at sacrifices for drinking the som juice, and a shrak, a sort of large wooden ladle used for pouring clarified butter on a sacrificial fire and properly made of palas and khadira wood and about as long as an arm with a receptacle at the end of the size of a hand, pieces of firewood and heaps of flowers for decoration and worship, and was surrounded by Vishwamitra and other priests, blazed forth all of a sudden, heralding the onslaught of Rakshasas. The sacrificial performance in question duly proceeded, accompanied by the recitation of sacred text. And presently there arose a loud and fearful clamor in the sky. Just as a cloud appears during monsoon, enveloping the sky, the two Rakshas, Marich and Subahu, swooped down upon the sacrificial altar, spreading their Maya, sorcery. They, as well as their followers of terrible aspect, presently arrived and rained torrents of blood as well as of flesh, pus, and so on. Clearly perceiving the altar in question, drenched with that shower of blood, Sri Ram ran forth at once to discover the cause and presently beheld the ogres in the air. Seeing the two Rakshas rushing headlong towards him, the lotus-eyed Rama, for his part, gazed at Lakshman and spoke the following words. Look here, O Lakshman, I shall scatter the wicked Rakshasas and that feed on raw flesh by means of the Manavastra, the missile presided over by Swayambhu Bhavu Manu. As clouds are dispersed by the wind, there is no doubt about it. I do not feel inclined to kill them, as they are destined to survive for some more years. Having made these observations, Sri Ram, a scion of Raghu, who was full of agility, put his bow, the most excellent and supremely effulgent missile presided over by Manu, and hurled it most angrily at the breast of Marich. Forcibly hitting with that highly excellent missile presided over by Manu, the ogre was flung in mid-ocean, a distance of full 100 yojnas, 800 miles. Seeing Marich thrown away, reeling, and struck senseless by the forces of Siteshu, the missile presided over by Manu, Sri Ram said to Lakshman, "Behold, O Lakshman, the power of Siteshu, the missile presided over and tried by Manu. It has removed the demon to such a long distance, having rendered him senseless. Still, the fellow has not been deprived of his life. I shall get rid of the other blood-sucking Rakshasas too, who are merciless and wicked, and are given to sinful deeds and interfere with the performance of sacrifices." Having spoken to Lakshman as aforesaid and showing his agility as it were, Sri Ram quickly invoked the most excellent missile presided over by the god of fire and hurled it at the breast of Subahu, and pierced by it the latter fell dead on the ground. Invoking the missile presided over by the wind god, the highly illustrious and extremely large-hearted Sri Ram threw away the rest at a distance, bringing joy thereby to all the sages. Having got rid in this way of all the Rakshas that interfered with the performances of sacrifices, Sri Ram was honored in that holy retreat by the rishis, even as Indra was felicitated in the past on his victory scored over demons. The sacrificial proceedings having been brought to a close, the great sage Vishwamitra, for his part, forthwith spoke to Sri Ram as follows on seeing the quarters rid of all pests. "I stand accomplished of my purpose, O mighty armed and highly illustrious hero, in that the bidding of your preceptor in me has been carried out by you. Nay, the name of this Siddhashram too has been justified." Having applauded Sri Ram as aforesaid, he offered prayers to the evening twilight along with the two brothers. Thus ends Canto 30 in the Balakand of the glorious Ramayan of Valmiki, the work of a rishi and the oldest epic. Now we come to Canto 31. What is it about? Accompanied by Sri Ram, Lakshman and a host of rishis, sage Vishwamitra proceeds northward in the direction of Mithila to witness the bow sacrifice of King Janak, and breaks his journey on the bank of the Sona at sunset. Delighted on having accomplished their purpose in the shape of protecting the sacrifice of Vishwamitra, the two heroes, Sri Ram and Lakshman, then spent that night with a most cheerful mind in the sacrificial hall of Vishwamitra at Siddhashram itself. Having finished their morning duties, at the close of night, the two brothers, for their part, sought together Vishwamitra and other rishis. Greeting Vishwamitra, the foremost of sages, who shone as a blazing fire, the two sweet-tongued brothers made the following highly noble submission. "Here are we, your servants, present before you, O tiger among hermits. Tell us, O jewel among sages, what injunction of yours we should carry out." At the aforesaid submission of the two brothers, all the great rishis present there made the following reply to Sri Ram with the permission of Vishwamitra. "A most pious sacrifice is going to be performed, O jewel among men, by Janak, the king of Mithila. We shall repair to that place. You too shall accompany us, O tiger among men. Nay, there you ought to see a marvelous jewel among bows. The bow, which is so terrible and supremely effulgent, and whose strength, weight cannot be estimated, was actually presented in the former times, O jewel among men, to a former king of Mithila, Devavrata, by name, in a sacrificial assembly by the gods, who had got it in their turn from Lord Shiv. Neither gods nor Gandharvs nor demons nor ogres are able to bend it, much less human beings. Eager to gauge its strength, even very mighty kings and princes failed to bend it. There, O Ram, a scion of Kakushtha, you will be able to see that bow of the high-souled king of Mithila, as well as his most wonderful sacrifice, O tiger among men. That excellent bow, well formed at the center, where it is held by the fist, was indeed solicited by the aforesaid king of Mithila as a reward for the sacrifice, and gifted as such by all gods. Worshipped with sandal pastes of various kinds and incenses emitting the smell of aloe wood, it stands enshrined in the palace of that king as an object of worship, O scion of Raghu. Saying so, through the other sages, Vishwamitra, the foremost of sages, presently set out on the journey, accompanied by a host of rishis, as well as Sri Ram and Lakshman, the two scions of Kakushta, taking leave of the sylvan deities in the following words. May good betide you all, accomplished of purpose. I shall proceed from Siddhashram to the Himalayan mountain on the northern bank of the holy Ganga. Having observed thus the celebrated sage Vishwamitra, a scion of Kusha, a tiger among hermits and rich in Ashkeshis, made ready to depart in a northerly direction. No less than 100 carts full of load consisting mostly of requisites of a sacrifice belonging to his followers, who were all exponents of the Vedas, accompanied by Vishwamitra, the foremost of sages, as he proceeded on his journey. Even herds of beasts and flocks of birds dwelling in the Siddhashram followed the high-souled Vishwamitra, whose only wealth was his asceticism. Thereupon Vishwamitra, accompanied by the host of seers, persuaded the birds as well as the beasts to return. Having covered a long distance, the host of hermits accompanying Vishwamitra concentrated, and the sun now declining, broke their journey on the bank of the Sona. Having bathed in the river and having worshipped the sacred fire where the sun had set, the sages, who were all possessed of immense glory, sat down, placing Vishwamitra at their head. Paying their homage to the aforesaid sages and greeting them all, Sri Ram too, accompanied by Lakshman, presently sat down, facing the wise Vishwamitra. Now Sri Ram, who was possessed of exceptional glory, asked Vishwamitra, a tiger among sages, whose only wealth was his asceticism, with great curiosity, as follows: what land could this possibly be, graced with such thriving forest, O venerable sir? I wish to hear of it. Be pleased to tell me accurately about it. God bless you. Prompted by the aforesaid question of Sri Ram, the great ascetic Vishwamitra, of noble vows, proceeded to speak elaborately about that land in the midst of the seers accompanying him. Thus ends Canto 31 in the Balakand of the glorious Ramayan of Valmiki, the work of a rishi and the oldest epic. So, आज हम लोगों ने कैंटो 31 तक ख़त्म कर लिया है. कल कैंटो 32 पढ़ूंगी. उम्मीद है आप लोग ज़रूर सुनेंगे. प्लीज़ लिसन टू इट and please share the video, please like the video, please subscribe to my channel, That's all for today. Jai Shri Ram.